Here we are, day 2 of our mystery cutting board build. First thing we have to do is take everything out of the clamps. You see I already have a few of them already done before I realized, hey, you're not filming, you need to film. So I rushed over, grabbed the camera real quick, and at least got footage of me taking the last piece from our glue up from the night before out of the clamps. Next up, we need to bring all our pieces over to the joiner and get one clean edge on them because we're going to be running them through the thickness planer to get equal thicknesses. What I had intended when I started this kind of changed as we got going with things, and you'll see as we continue with the video. You gotta make sure your edges are clean because we want to keep that edge nice and square the best we can. So any excess glue that might have been on the outside of that board where you saw me take the scraper to the glue to get it off of it so I could keep my board square, you need to remove any excess glue that's out there. You gotta take this route or try to mimic this build. Bring our pieces over to the miter saw and we have to clean up our edges. Here's our three pieces that we're going to end up using for our cutting board. I did eliminate the walnut and tiger wood combination. It was really thin and I'd have to waste a lot of material, so I figured I'd work with what I had here. So our middle board is not jointed yet. We end up taking that over to the table saw, and you'll see that here in the next clip. For this, I have my blade fully extended on my 8.5 inch DeWalt table saw, and it doesn't get all of it, but it gets the majority of it. We end up having to do a flip and recut, and when you do this, you flip it on end. You just don't rotate it or anything like that. Otherwise, your cut won't line up, and you'll have a lot of sanding work, planer work, depending on the size of your planer or drum sander. Now we take all our pieces and come over to the joiner and have that other side that's not jointed planed, and so we can get it nice and smooth. Now I was sitting there thinking, and that piece, I didn't really like it. So, I mean, I liked it, but it was just too big. So I brought out my 10-inch table saw so we could split this in half, and then end up with two equal pieces equivalent to our walnut and maple that we have set aside for this build. Now my 10-inch doesn't cut all the way through this, so we're going to have to make sure there's no glue on that top piece, which you see me grab the scraper here and scrape out the excess glue that kind of dribbled down and over after we did our glue up. Make sure that edge is clean so our cut will match our previous cut that we've already done. You'll also see me take this beam and flip it head over toe to follow the previous cut. Now here's where we're at. So I'm staring at the board, I'm looking at it, being creative in my head, and it struck me to do angles from one corner to the other on the outside of our three pieces. I thought that looked kind of neat, especially once you rotated it up and the end grain was looking right at you. So I ended up grabbing my little square, trying to line everything up, and I mean, it worked. It was clumsy, don't get me wrong, and I don't know why I didn't think of it beforehand, but you do see me go and get my bevel square and just set the angle that I need and go across everything nice and easily. This clip here is where you see me grab my bevel square. their angle finder, or whatever you want to call it, sorry. And it made things a lot easier, not so clumsy. It also helped with setting our angle on our saw too. So we used our angle finder to find our angle on a table saw so we match up. You still want to take small little cuts and creep up on your line. It's just safe practice that way, so you don't end up undercutting your line and end up with a smaller piece than what you intended. As you watch this clip, you will notice that I actually made a mistake and cut both sides at the same angle. So this piece ended up being tossed to the side for now, and I had to make some adjustments to how I was approaching this. And I also needed a bigger saw because of our our Padauk and Wang pieces still sit kind of tall for this little saw to do the cuts. So after a few choice words, I decided to show you guys my mistake. I did not cut that right at all. Both angles were supposed to be parallel to each other, not perpendicular. So we do it again using our angle finder, our digital angle finder that time around, to set our blade the way we need it. Our fence is set to where we need it, and we're ready to make our cut and do it right this time. See, I slowly creep into it, make sure that my pencil line meets the inside edge of the blade towards my fence, so I'm cutting on the outside of my line when I do this. Yes, I do see that I do know that I'm missing my riving knife, for those of you that noticed who are watching this. This is a Hercules Harbor Freight saw. The riving knife was bent when I got it and was creating havoc with my cuts being straight, and I noticed it greatly when I was using my crosscut sled for the Endgrain cutting boards. The riving knife would stop going through the cut, and I'd have to reach and move the riving knife over so to fit in a line that was already created by the blade, so we could continue our cut properly. And it was pulling things to the one side, and my cuts were not as straight as they could have been, or should have been, I should say. But I digress. Here we are with our next piece, running it through. This is our walnut, tiger wood, and walnut piece. I wanted to at least keep this in check with the rest of the pieces, even though I didn't have intentions on using it, in case we had a mishap and we needed to use it. I did have full intent on using this piece when we started this project, and decided against it partway through. This is a mystery build. I am flying by the seat of my pants as things come to me when we're doing this. Things are rapidly and constantly changing with this build, and I'm actually happy with the way it came out. The board is actually done, but I'm a little late catching up on the video of all this. Here's what we have after we were done. So we throw it up in the glue up for the evening, and this will end up concluding part 2. If you're liking this build so far and you want more content, just hit that subscribe button. If you want to know when I have more new content, hit that bell button so you'll get notified. Please share this. I'm always looking for comments. I love to hear your guys' feedback, and I like conversing with you all. So thanks, and you all have a good evening.